Walnut Creek might have a new nickname. Not everybody is nuts about it. Some residents are embracing the nut, while others would rather just stick with Walnut Creek or the Creek. We're talking with Mayor Kevin Wilk about the nickname, the reaction, and whether the nut is here to stay. Mayor Wilk, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Raina. Glad to be here.
Okay, this is so much fun. You guys have been mentioned in People magazine. The story that we did on the nut, it got millions of views, which is so crazy.
Crazy.
How are you processing all of this?
I mean, it's interesting to see how this has just taken off over a comment that I made just as a by a week ago, less than a week ago on our city council meeting. And just seeing that people have really embraced this as a conversation topic. I look at it like this is a good way to distract from actual news going on out there, but it's definitely divided. And there is a clear demographic line on this where there's half the people that like it and half the people that don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I like that you mentioned there's a demographic line when we're talking about Gen Z, or Gen X, or the millennials. What have you really noticed when you've been kind of like diving into the generational divide or agreement here?
Yeah, the people that have lived in Walnut Creek a long time, or let's say anybody over 40 years old, they don't even like nicknames. It's Walnut Creek, that's what it's always been. But I remember people in the 90s were talking about Walnut Creek as the Creek, or in the 2000s, the Dub C or WC. And now this is the next generation, Gen Z, high school students, who evidently all are calling it the nut. And I'd heard about this, but when I did a poll on Nextdoor, which does skew older demographically, about 50% don't want any kind of a nickname at all.
Okay. But you said you also did one on Instagram.
I did.
What did that poll show you?
And that showed about almost half the people do like the nut, which of course, again, skews younger. So it's just interesting. But what I found fascinating was when I went to one of our big street fairs a couple of weeks ago, and I saw somebody selling merchandise there, and he'd been pushing out some of the things called the nut. And I saw all of these t-shirts and hats, and I asked him, do you think you're really gonna sell out of this? And he goes, I think it'll do all right. And I went by maybe a half an hour later, and people were 7, 8 people deep in there. And then about an hour later, people are walking around with shirts and hats.
Oh my goodness. And this is one of the hats.
This is one of the hats.
It looks like he sold out. I mean, not only did he sell it, he's selling them at upcoming events next month.
It's amazing. So anyway, I mentioned that on our city council meeting, and it just exploded from there.
I mean, did you have any idea that it was going to take off in this way? I mean, any inkling when you mentioned it?
Not at all. Not at all. I thought it was just a funny thing to mention because I had just been at the Locust Street Festival a couple of weeks prior to that. And we have gotten a lot of interest in the fact that we have an entertainment zone launch, and that really came with the festival. But the fact that that story took off, that People magazine wrote about it, that SF Gate and other outlets, and of course Cron picking it up. And when I was interviewed by Cron last Thursday, I think it was, I couldn't believe it got millions of views.
Man, when you think about Walnut Creek as a whole, right, the city is known for so many amazing things. You were just telling me, you guys have the number 4th Nordstroms in the country?
In the country, right, in their chain.
That's incredible. So whether it's the Creek, the Nut, Dub C, all these amazing names, I feel like it doesn't take away from any of the amazing things that you guys are doing.
Not at all. And actually, Walnut Creek, which is known for shopping and dining, we've got over 200 restaurants, and shopping, the Broadway Plaza is the top mall in that entire ownerships group of malls in the country. And we're the 3rd most visited shopping destination in the Bay Area after San Francisco and San Jose. So people come and experience Walnut Creek. They love it. If they haven't come in a while, now they've heard about the nut, maybe that'll come to get them to check it out. I don't care if people are calling it and talking about Walnut Creek. Come on, they'll check it out. And if they already live there and work or play there, they know how great it is.
Yeah, see, that's the silver lining in all of this. I mean, if anybody knows, it would be the mayor. Do you think, I don't know, the nut could become the official name of Walnut Creek moving forward?
Yeah, I don't know about official. I mean, again, we've heard the Creek and WC, so I think this is this generation's affectionate term for Walnut Creek. And I imagine in 10 or 20 years, there'll be another one.
I know, but right now we're enjoying the nut. I was doing research and I didn't know. I learned something new. Walnut Creek, the nut groves from back in the 50s.
Well, right. Well, Walnut Creek, of course, there were walnut groves.
Yes.
And in fact, in the area that's the east side of Walnut Creek, where I live, those were all walnut orchards. And there really aren't any kind of walnut orchards or groves there all anymore. But in fact, there was a processing plant right where the Lesher Center of the Arts is now, and it processed walnuts.
That's incredible.
And so that was known as a nut processing plant, and then the community theater that started in that same location was called the Nut House.
So we've got this
full circle.
This full circle history of nuts in Walnut Creek. So we just have a few seconds here before we leave, and I would like to ask you to weigh in. Mayor, do you have a preference? Do you like Walnut Creek, the Nut, Dub C? What would be your preferential name?
You know, I'm not a lot for nicknames typically,
Okay.
and obviously the mayor of Walnut Creek, I'm going to talk about it as Walnut Creek, but I am fine with whatever anybody calls it. All nicknames are fine when they're said in humor. Come on to Walnut Creek. I mean, it is a city that's worth having multiple nicknames for.
I love that. Mayor, well, thank you so much for joining us. And I mean, next time I'll probably see you on, I don't know, The View or the Nightly News somewhere, just because of how big this story has really gotten.
Unbelievable.
Okay.